up? It is your guy, Mark my words, coming back at you, Playboy. In this video, man, I just want to talk to you a little bit about staying in your masculine frame when you make choices throughout your day, because you're going to make a lot of choices throughout every single day. Some people say it's thousands, right? Thousands of choices you make. From, are you going to take a left turn to a right turn? Are you going to turn the music up or turn it down? Are you going to brush your hair or comb your hair? Those are all choices. And so a lot of times we get outside of our masculinity by making certain choices, and then the results of them a lot of times we don't like, or we have to deal with because we didn't stay in our masculine frame when we made choices. So I just want to rap to you about that. Now, as we always do, bro, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe. If you like the content that's coming out, if you like things that I say in this video, like and subscribe. That just lets me know that I'm doing the right content, the right thing for the right people, okay? Now, also, if you feel like the content is impactful, you feel like you got something from it, and you feel like somebody else could benefit from it, take 2 seconds and just share the video. That's it, bro. Just share the video. You don't have to do nothing special. A lot of times when I share videos with my guys, I share the video and I tell them how long it is, right? Because, you know, sometimes you only got 20 minutes to listen to something. Sometimes you got 2 hours. But it's nice when they can look down that thread and say, oh yeah, bro has sent me that video. It's only like 15 minutes. I got time in between these appointments. Let me go ahead and listen. All right? So, staying in your masculine frame, bro. You will hear me talk about that a lot, because masculinity is what makes you a man. The type of man you are is determined by your level of masculinity. It determines a lot of the things that you do, a lot of choices you make. So, when you make choices to do every small little thing, to say things, to respond, to email, to text, to all the things you do, your masculinity is involved, okay? So we talk about honesty, integrity, we talk about respect, we talk about how we move with women, we talk about our fatherhood, we talk about our spirituality, our health and fitness, our nutrition. Bro, it's so many things that play into our masculinity that when we make choices, all these things are involved. If you are a dishonest man, you will make dishonest choices. If you lack respect for others, you will make disrespectful choices, right? If you're not a good father, you will make choices that have nothing to do with your children. But if you are a good father, you do the opposite, okay? So staying masculine within our choices. This determines a lot of our day. Bro, you have choices, right? So when you're driving, because most of us have to drive at some point to get to work, to get from work. Some of us drive for work. And you have a lot of choices to make that will keep you in your masculine frame or take you out of it. Now, leaving on time and being punctual has a lot to do with being able to stay in your masculine frame. Just when we're talking about driving. Because now what you can do is you can be a little bit more patient at yellow lights. Traffic doesn't bother you as much. You're not arguing, fussing, and fighting inside of the car with another person inside of the car, and neither of y'all gonna get out the car. You can be patient at stop signs. You can allow people to go in front of you instead of beeping your horn when they try to do so. You can stay in your masculine frame all because you left early, right? Now, while you're driving, obviously, there are times that you can let people go. There are times that you have to be a little bit more aggressive and assertive because of the traffic pattern. You have to speed up a little bit to keep things flowing the right way, because that's just how traffic is going that day. But these small decisions that you make while you're in the car, they determine how you feel. You never feel good after you argue with somebody in traffic, bro. You never feel good. You never feel good when you got to lay on your horn, because that normally comes before a bunch of curse words. Whenever you have to blow a bunch of yellow lights, bro, that comes with a feeling. Everything comes with a feeling. That comes with a feeling. You're rushing. You're stressed out every time you rush. So every time you got to blow yellow lights, every time you got to honk your horn, every time you got to cuss people out in traffic, bro, it takes you out of your masculine frame, because you and I both know, if you were to describe a great day down to every second of that day, none of that day would detail you cussing people out. It would not call for you to be honking on your horn, bro. It wouldn't call for you to be running yellow lights and someone were turning red as you go through the intersection. That wouldn't be what happened. So understand that you have these choices to make. So setting yourself up, putting yourself in great position, meaning being on time, being punctual. If you're going somewhere that takes 30 minutes, leave with it when you have 45 minutes available so that you're not rushing. That's setting yourself up to stay in your masculine frame. But as things happen, you don't have to lay on your horn, bro. You wanted to. You don't have to say cuss words to that person. You wanted to. Because whether you cuss at them or not, you're not getting out your car, they're not getting out your car, out their car. You have choices to make, bro. And when you make the right choices, when you're relaxed, when you stay inside your masculine frame, then that takes you through your day. Because when you get out the car, what happens when you've had a tumultuous ride to work, bro? Normally you get out with an attitude and you start talking to somebody. As soon as you talk to them, oh, how you doing today? You start talking about what happened in traffic. You start talking about the people you had to cuss out. You had to lay on your horn. Nobody can drive. The interstate sucks. Those are the type of conversations you have, bro. And that person that's listening to you, whether they are masculine or not, they're looking at you and they're realizing you're not in your masculine frame. So if that's several times a week, my boy, guess who's looking at you like you lack masculinity? Now, there's also choices when it comes to communicating with people, right? There's people we communicate with on the phone, through text messages, through emails. Let's just say that. And bro, we have a choice of words. When you send a text message or an email, you choose the words that you let come off your fingers, bro, onto that keyboard. You have the ability to choose when you hit send or not. It's no one else's choice. It's yours. It's absolutely yours, bro. So when you're choosing what you want to say to someone, when you're choosing how to respond, when you're choosing what to do when somebody, comes up short, somebody disappoints you, you got to correct somebody, or somebody just calls themselves talking greasy to you, you have the choice to use certain words, bro. You have the choice to say certain things. And once again, you and I both know that there are things that will take you out of your masculine frame, even after you say them, even if you think you won the argument. Because a lot of times afterwards you'll say, man, I wish I ain't had to get like that with the bull, but he made me mad. Man, I wish I hadn't said, I wouldn't have said all that and had to curse, but he caught me at the right moment. But bro, we have choices. And one thing we can always say is that we always feel better when we were relaxed the entire time. We always feel 10 times better, bro, when we were the one who stayed calm. Now, bro, listen. If somebody's close to harming you, right? Putting their hands on you or hurting somebody in your family, that's different. Because at that point, you got to do what you got to do. But, bro, we're talking an email. We're talking a text message. Somebody disappointed you. They're late. They didn't make a deadline. They dropped the ball. Whether you curse or not, they still dropped the ball. Whether you tell them about themselves or not, they still dropped the ball. Whether you tell them how much better you are than them, how you wouldn't have done that, how if it were you when you were their age, you would have done this, done that. Bro, they've already dropped the ball. The ball's on the ground. What do you gain by talking negative to them, bro? Coming out your masculine frame, raising your voice, calling them out their name. Using curse words, bro, how is that helping you? All that's doing is putting you in a different zone. That's all it's doing. Because a lot of times we will argue with someone who's used to arguing all the time, right? They're used to raising their voice. You ever see dudes, they argue and their voice goes up an octave, right? And their voice gets higher as they argue. And you're like, dang, why do bulls sound like that when he argue? Yeah, bro, because he's getting taken out of his masculine frame all the time. All the time, bro. This happens to him all the time. He's used to it. He lives by this. You don't want to sound like that guy. You never go home and say, I was too relaxed. I kept my calm too much today. I wish I would have flown off the handle a few times. You never go home and say that at the end of the day, bro. Staying calm is always going to be the best approach in every situation, bro. Stay calm. Don't go out your masculine frame to argue with people, especially when they've already done what they've done. How about you find a solution? If that person continues to drop the ball and you are their superior, look for a replacement. If that person is trying to come down on you for something that you completed and you used your 100% effort, there's a way for you not to have to deal with that person anymore. Stop giving them 100% effort. That's all you got to do. But coming outside your masculinity, bro, every time you feel like you've done something that took you off of your manhood, out of your frame, off your path, you're outside your masculinity, fam. And we have choices, so we choose to do this. Let's choose the words we use a little bit better. Just like the actions in the car. Let's choose the actions a little bit better. All right? Now, number 3. The choices we make surrounding our needs versus wants. Needs versus wants. And I know this is a tough one for a couple of y'all. Because you've gotten in the mode of thinking that you need things, but you actually just want them. And what it does is you make irrational choices, which leads you to having to deal with consequences down the line. Again, taking you outside of your masculine frame. A confident masculine man makes good choices, sir. A confident masculine man doesn't have to apologize all the time for making dumb mistakes, because he's made them one time and he learned from them and he does not make them again. He uses self-control. Do you need the sneakers, bro, or you just want them? Do you need to go on this fishing trip, or do you just want to? Do you need this new pistol, or is it just nice than a motherfucker? And sometimes that be it, bro. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Sometimes it's just nice. And you want it. And you wish a motherfucker would. Right? But do you need it? Because that 450, that 750, huh? You probably could put it on a credit card right now. It'd be a better choice. Because the pistol gonna be there. Huh? The new fishing gear, I promise you, in 2 months, still gonna be there. That, bro, listen, them sneakers, I know they just came out and they fresh. Ooh, they fresh. They gonna be there. When you choose what you need versus what you want, you always feel better. You always feel more manly. You always feel like that's a responsible choice I just made. That keeps you in your masculine frame. That keeps you confident, right? Now, I ain't telling you can't buy your pistols and your sneakers, bro, and your fishing gear. Now, damn it. All 3. You hear me? But there's a time and a place for it. And you have to have a list of needs and a list of wants. That's why I always talk to you about having a running list of both. Every time you get a couple things you need, get something you want. Every time you scratch off 5 more of the needs, something you won't. You understand? Because, bro, there's always going to be things you want. There's always going to be things you need. At some point, your kids and grandkids' needs turn into your needs, right? And they're important to you, so you want them to be happy. So there's always going to be things that you want. They're always going to come out with new pickup trucks, new cowboy hats, cowboy boots, new fishing gear, new pistols and rifles, new sneakers, new suits, new watches. Come on, bruh. It's always going to be stuff you want. But when you prioritize and you make sound choices about the things that you need before the things that you want, you feel like a man. And then it makes it a lot easier to send the right responses when people email you in a rage. When they send you text messages talking greasy, huh? Then that energy carries over, because when you're in the car, now you're making more sound and calm decisions when people cut you off in traffic. When you got to rush to get to work, huh? Instead of laying on your horn, you let somebody go because you know what, I ain't about all that. I'm in my masculinity today. I'm chilling. Huh? It's a cycle. And it's all about the choices we make. Because there's always going to be things that happen on the outside that try to take us outside of our masculinity, bro. But we have the choice to make good choices. A whole bunch of small choices makes it a lot easier to make sound masculine choices when things are a little bit touchy. Because that's our habit. So when you stay rooted in what keeps you calm, what makes more sense, what's more like the upstanding man you want to be, it makes it a lot easier to stay in your masculinity, even when things get touchy, bro. Even when things become an emergency, you're able to stay in your frame. You stay calm, you stay cool, you handle business. Lastly, there's a lot of you, and I was one of those guys, doing a lot of arguing. And I'll do another video on this, because this is a big thing. Doing a lot of arguing and doing nothing about it. And every time you leave that argument, every time you leave that debate with that guy or that gal, right? You always feel like less of a man. And every time you describe it to somebody, it makes you feel like less of a man. And most of the time, it's because you didn't do anything. Now, I ain't about to tell you to start punching people in the mouth every time they say something you don't like. But bro, if you're not gonna do anything and it's not worth it, because most of the time, it's not worth it, why argue? Would you go to a store and talk to a shoe salesman and just walk out the store without buying shoes? No, you would not. If you're going to spend the time to talk to the shoe salesman about shoes, you're going to end up buying shoes. We got to stop arguing with people. That's a choice. That's a choice. So you have to understand that a lot of us get to this point. A lot of us get to this point where we're realizing we make a lot of small choices that take us outside of our masculinity. I've been there. A lot of y'all been there. If this is you and you need help making better choices and you can't figure out how to get on the right path to make greater choices, to make better choices, go down in the description, bro. Book a call. We'll get on a Zoom. We'll talk about what's been going on with you. We'll figure out if there's a plan that you might need to be on for you to start making better choices with your life. Because, bro, the goal is to be your most masculine self so that you can be the best father, brother, co-worker, business owner, husband, father that you can be. All right? Now, you might be somebody that you don't necessarily need one-on-one life coaching. You just might have a question or some type of comment or a story that you might want me to put in one of these videos or bring up on a live Q&A. If that is you, please email me at coachmark22@gmail.com. That is coachmark with a C, 22@gmail.com. All right? Love to see your feedback. Love when the questions come through. They give me things to talk about. And bro, you have to understand this. For the guys who are brave enough to just say, this is my situation, please keep me anonymous. Of course, that's always the thing. But when you bring up a question, bro, it's 8.9 billion people in the world. From your one statement, there might be 3 million people that see the video, see the question, see the comments, right? and solution to your problem. And that helps them navigate with the men in their lives, or as men, that helps the men navigate with their loved ones and their families and whatever they might be going through, right? So when you submit the questions to the email, bro, you never know where it's going to take someone else, just from you asking for advice. That's why we do it. All right. So once again, thank you for tuning in with your boy. I'll be back at you on the flip side, homie. All right. It is God, mark my words.